What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Dre, representing from Drool Monsters TCG, back at it again with you for another one. And remember, it's Dual Monsters, not Drool Monsters. So it's been a hot minute since we posted a video, but you already know that we're committed to bringing you some dope Yu-Gi-Oh content. We're just getting started here, and we're still just trying to figure out a few more things in the background. I appreciate those who have still been rocking with me, and I promise you, your patience will be rewarded. So I've just been trying to wrap my head around just new ideas for content and videos for you guys, and we got a few ideas cooking up in the background. But if you guys have any suggestions on anything that you'd like to see on the channel, please feel free to drop it down in the comments section. I am open to all forms of feedback, and just know that on this channel your voice will be heard. So I think with so many different avenues and different ways you could go about actually trying to play the game or getting into it or something like that, the little seed's been planted in your head. You want to try your hand at some real life Yu-Gi-Oh? Alright, it's cool, it's alright. I can't blame you. I play myself. Just between you and me, you know. But nah, for real, in all seriousness. Maybe you got a buddy who's just been bugging you to sit down and play a few games out with him. Maybe you saw some Master Duel content on the internet and you're just like, yo, it's free. I'm bored. Hell, I used to play as a kid. Why not? And maybe you just saw something cool from the anime and you're just like, yo, that, I want that moment. Nothing wrong with that. I feel like in 2022, there's so many different, avenues that'll just lead you into the community. There's so many different avenues that just led you to this video, so here you are. And here I am trying to do the best I can by you. And with that being said, I'm here to be the angel and the devil on your shoulder, letting you know the honest truth of what you're stepping into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2022. I feel like there wasn't anyone to really do this for me. I kind of just had to figure out everything as I go, so I honestly feel like this will only make you, if you actually do decide to play, a better player and a better member of the community. So without further ado, here's 5 honest truths that the Yu-Gi-Oh world fails to mention. So this first one I feel like is kind of standard across all games, but I also feel like it could be, if not the most discouraging factor for new players. You will lose. And you will lose a lot. Especially in the beginning. Now, I really only choose to mention this as a point only because I see a lot of deck lists online and Yu-Gi-Tubers. They'll lead with oh, best deck, Broken, God tier, etc., so on and so forth. Now, while those decks have extremely high win rates, extremely high, this is not me bashing anybody's work, anybody's deck list choices, nothing by any means necessary. So, while they have incredibly high win rates, nothing is quote-unquote unbeatable in this game. Now, while those decks have extremely high win rates, and some of them are extremely high, there's nothing that's unbeatable in this game. Nothing's really unbeatable, and if it does actually become unbeatable, and I'm talking quote unquote, there is no point, you cannot, there's nothing you can do. Jack, nothing. Bottom line, you lose. That does not exist. There is an out to everything. The game is balanced, and if anything does become quote unquote unbeatable, that's why we have a ban list. That's why there is ban list season. So we keep things in check. So I just don't want anybody having any false hope, thinking that you'll be oh, I'm gonna be the next Yui, I'm gonna be the next Kaiba. No. This game does have RNG factors in it. It's 40% luck. 40% is luck. Just being fair with you. And there's a lot of factors in this game also involved. The list of reasons why you lost is very long. You can misplay. You can brick. Or maybe it's just some weird niche ruling, or maybe you just the deck just got outclassed in that moment. It happens. Trust me. You ask any Yu-Gi-Oh player, it happens. And these things that I listed, they're not bad things. They suck, but like, it's not the worst thing in the world. And there's many ways to remedy these situations, especially on the misplay part. And hey, best case scenario, at least at the locals level, you can probably find a cool group of people that you can just sit down, par with. You can play some games for fun. They'll let you make mistakes. You can work through these things only for you to become a better player. If anything, losing is just as important as winning is. So the bottom line of it all is never get discouraged. I mean, we all had to start somewhere. I and players like me were once players like you who are just starting out the game and trying to learn all the aspects and everything like that. So, hey man, like Drake said, we gotta start from the bottom, right? So the second point I'd like to make in this video is something that even the most experienced and veteran player honestly comes across a lot, and that's know your rulings. So really there are two sides to this coin here. There's the base rulings, and that's just how the game works. You'll find these in the instruction booklets and structure decks. You could also probably YouTube the rulings as well. If anything, I'll try and see if I can find some links, put them in the description box. And hey, there's Master Duel too, and there's pretty much a whole tutorial section that shows you how to play the game. So I think in 2022, it's actually the easiest it's ever been to learn how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! The other side of this would kind of be like small little niche rulings that the game or the rulebook doesn't necessarily inform you about. Some of those would be like chain blocking, the resolution of continuous spells and traps and field spells. They have to be on the field at resolution, otherwise the effect will kind of just fizzle and you can't really do much with it. If a monster has been sent to the graveyard from the extra deck, if it hasn't been successfully summoned, then can't really summon it out. It's small little points like these that separate the bad from the good from the great, and I feel like one day I'll definitely have to make a video more covering these things in depth, but it's definitely better for you as a player to find this information somewhere, because you'll only be better off for it. And I know it kind of seems like a little long-winded and redundant, but it really helps to know more card effects other than just what you're playing. Because if you kind of see like little like text or something like that another person would be playing, then you can kind of just pick up on things more. Or when you see like the first card being played, you can be like, oh, I know what deck this is. I know how it works and how it functions. I can beat this right now, everything. Or what I have in my side deck is enough that I can like take the win on this and everything like that. So yeah, seems kind of like, oh man, I already had to learn my stuff. I have to learn his stuff too, but I promise you, you'll only be better off for it. So this next one, it's a little close to home. Can't lie. In my early days, I felt this pain a lot, mostly because I'm a big anime guy, and I love Yu-Gi-Oh! So what am I gonna do with some of my free time? I'm gonna watch the show. Why not? Who doesn't love giant holograms fighting each other?
What? Monsters? Real monsters?
Now, there's gonna be moments. There will be moments where you see a card, a deck, an archetype, something, and you're just like, okay, this is cool. I want to try that. I did that with this guy. I am here to tell you from personal experience, as your friend, they lied to you. It's a mistake.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
But nah, in all seriousness, sometimes the show just doesn't stack up to real life. Whether it's power creep, change in text, or just straight up the card does not exist, period. Everything on TV is not what it seems, kids. With that being said though, if you still want to play an anime character deck, 100% fine. Nothing wrong with it. The only thing that you really would have to do is just, I would say, if you are looking at anything from a reference from the anime, definitely Google it before you like go looking into buying it. So that way you see, even if there are changes, then it's still something that you like and still something that you can flex with. Plus, with simulators like EDO Pro or Master Duel, which are 100% free and give you access to every single card that is in contention, there's a lot of avenues for you to try things out before you actually go and spend your hard-earned money. So this next one I feel is kinda Konami's fault. Plus, as I said earlier in the video, I don't believe in selling you a false narrative or a false dream. So I'd rather just be the person being 100% and straight up honest with you if no one told you or informed you. And with this point, I'm shouting out all of the younger and the newer players going to a locals tournament. That is, the younger and the newer players going to a locally sanctioned event at your local OTS store. Now, aside from a sealed only event, you cannot, it is impossible, it will never happen, or if it does, it is extremely, extremely rare. You cannot buy one singular structure deck in this game from the store, open it up, and then bring it to a tournament and play somebody with a deck that they've actually like taken the time to build, balance, and structure. It's impossible. So what Konami does when it comes to their structure decks is somewhere on the box it's advertised you get X amount of cards and you're able to just take it out of the box and then just start playing with somebody. And then boom, Bob's your uncle. No work needed. In that respect, they did not lie to you. It's got at least 40 cards. Hell, it sometimes comes with an extra deck. And as long as nothing's on the ban list, there is nothing stopping you from taking that thing out of the box and bringing it to your local tournament store and throwing down with everybody else. But you may come into some minor issues. I would definitely say if there's anything that drives the deck forward, it would be playsets and how many of those cards you are allowed to play. Playsets vary from game to game, but since we're only discussing Yu-Gi-Oh here, a playset of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh in your deck is 3. That means that the maximum copies of one card that you are allowed in your deck, as long as it is not banned, limited, or semi-limited, is 3. And when we get to structure decks now, you're pretty much guaranteed one copy of every single card in that deck. Luckily, they usually range from like $10 to $15 on release, so it's not the worst thing ever. It doesn't like completely drain your pockets or anything. But that is what myself and a lot of competitive Yu-Gi-Oh players, what they do. When the structure deck release, we don't buy one, we buy 3. Another reason a structure deck probably won't net you a lot of wins by itself is just simply some cards in there just aren't good. Either they're outclassed by other cards that do kind of the same thing, only better, or it's just no longer relevant in the format. When it comes to actual deck building, you're better off just buying singles, but there are times where it's more effective to actually buy the structure deck, seeing as there could be like a long list of cards that you need, and a lot of those cards do come in the structure deck, or they only came in the structure deck. There are also points where you could build decks around a structure deck, just adding in other stuff too outside of what came from it. Good examples of those would be the Dino structure deck or the Layer of Darkness structure deck. Both of those are very good options and have cards with super good effects that could really net you some wins. But if you did think that you could just go into your local game store, go get a structure deck off the shelf, and just start slapping games up like your Kaiba, I'm very sorry, but unless you're playing someone who's also playing a structure deck as well, that's going to be a very big uphill battle for you. So I did want to touch upon this one briefly, just in case at the end of this you really do want to dive down this rabbit hole that is Yu-Gi-Oh! First thing being that this game can get expensive, especially the deeper that you go into it, but you can navigate it smartly. And the first thing that you can do for that is research. Always look up deck lists online. They will usually even tell you the price point of how much the deck that you're looking for is, as well as like budget options that you can use for said deck, so you're not really stuck buying the super stupid expensive cards that maybe aren't really in your price range, or you don't want to commit that hard to it just yet. Another way to save yourself a little bit of money would be to buy singles from your local card store, your local card vendor. Trust me, guys, I've been there, and it makes a lot more economical sense for you to buy, let's say one card costs $30 to $40. So it makes way more sense for you to go and spend the $30 to $40 on the amount of the cards that you need, 1 to 3, than for you to spend $30 to $40 on packs and you're not guaranteed to pull that. Next thing you know, that $30 to $40, it could turn into like $100, and you need 3 of the card and you maybe pulled 1. Just come on. How much sense does that make for your wallet? Another hard truth about the matter is, if you are going to play competitive eventually, in your early stages, I would say buy staples. Buy the staples. Because you can play 1,000 decks, 1,000,000, and if you don't have a like Ash Blossom, Infinite Impermanence, Effect Veiler, and the like you're going to get hit with those cards. That is a given. Everybody has one, if not multiple, of those in your decks and everything like that. So you're basically, it'd be like throwing you into World War II and they just give you a little knife and they're just like, you'll be fine. But you got dudes running around with whole AK-47s and all of that. It's just like, nah, dude, no, that's an uphill battle that you're just, sure, you might win. You might get your little joke in here or there, but wouldn't you also like to have your own submachine gun with your own ammo coming in at firing at full cylinders? Like, and again, that point is solely for people who want to play competitively. But don't be that guy who walks into the tournament shop and is just like, I don't like hand traps. And you end up getting hand trapped to death. And you're just like, well, why am I losing my games? Well, maybe you should have used hand traps, buddy. I mean, they're in the format. They're legal. It's not cheating. It's not wrong. So if somebody else is going to have access to something and you have the exact same access to it, but you just turn your nose up to it, like you can't be mad. That's a you problem. The last point of this section here, it's kind of for my rich boys. Y'all are still new, but y'all got that money. This is a game too. You came in to play. You don't care. So, like when we're talking about stupid expensive things like triple tactic talents, lightning storm, forbidden droplets, or stupid expensive decks like Sword Soul, Heroes, Despia, which will get expensive. Mark my words. I told you that right now. So, just because you're like sitting on stupid amounts of money and you spend $1,000 on your deck and everything like that, you're not guaranteed to win. It helps. It definitely helps you, but you're not guaranteed shit in this game. Like 30 to 40% of this is based off of chance. You are shuffling a deck and drawing random cards from it.
It's about what's fair!
But yeah, man, never forget that a player who knows his rulings is a lot more deadly than a dude who knows his wallet. Straight up. And then just to kind of throw in a little bonus end point here, kind of just, it's not even a point, it's just more of a PSA. It's more catered to like the female half of the community as well as like the lesser players. Like, we're not all assholes and tryhards. You know what I mean? I know you have that misconception in your head, but there are actually like some really cool people in this game. You know what I mean? I've met some really amazing friends that, like, I mean, I'd love to know y'all for my life and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, these are people who I wouldn't mind, like, hanging out with, catching a movie with, going to have a beer and everything like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, the community is great. And to the people who are already in it, like, let people learn. Let people have fun. I've heard of 1-2 horror stories of dudes bullying or beating down players or females who are new and they're just trying to have fun, but you know you have more skills, so you're just trying to catch the free win. It's like, I don't know if anyone told you, but you can win with dignity and respect the same way that you can lose with dignity and respect. Just play your game. There's no reason to be like rude. There's no reason to be trolly. There's no reason to be an asshole. And if you are gonna take a dig at somebody, just like, don't do it in the shop, man. Like, if you're gonna like kiki with your friends outside of it, or like when you're in the car or something like that, you ain't gotta put that on somebody, because like at the end of the day, we're all trying to just be here and have fun and learn and get better. You know what I mean? Like, damn. I've seen a lot of it and I've heard a lot of experiences, and I don't see a lot of people talking about this, but just play your game and move on sometimes. I mean, and when it comes to the trolling, again, I would prefer if you didn't, but if you have to, just like, if the urge is so deeply strong in your heart, just like, don't do it in front of somebody. Don't do it in the shop. Just go on about your day. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause not everybody needs that. Some people just be having a bad day. Like, but I've made good friends in this community. I'd like other people to make friends in this community. And if you ever see my face in real life, I mean, if you're a player within the GTA, then by all means, yo, like, come say hi. Like, freaking, I can answer any questions that you need. Like, I can be as helpful as I can. You know what I mean? So, like, we're all just here to have a good time, and let's let people join our community and at the same time enjoy our community. Like, and that's all I gotta say. Anyway, this has been Dre representing for Drool Monsters TCG. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.